Use action and control to supersize your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. No Nonsense November, day 11 today. And we're talking about focusing on the things we can control, because the things we can't control, we can't control. Let's talk about this today. So first and foremost, I want to talk about step 4 of the ideas process so that we don't forget it this month. I want to make sure that we go through it once every month this year so that by the end of the year, it's ingrained in our, or installed in our subconscious, whatever feels right to you in terms of describing that. And we've got another tool in our toolbox as we go about our daily lives. Because guess what? Stuff's going to happen all the time, every day in our businesses. Anybody that expects it not to, and that they don't have to be a problem solver and a priority setter, is in for a rude awakening and going to struggle. Just like today's topic. If we try to control everything, and trust me, I spent many years and in many different businesses being a bit of a control freak. Okay, a control freak. I admit it. Tried to control everything and then got frustrated when things weren't going exactly as I thought they should go. Talk about an exercise in futility. I was focusing on what wasn't working instead of what was working. And so guess what I kept getting more of? Stuff that wasn't working. It was exhausting. So today, before we talk about control, what we can control and what we focus on, let's talk about action. Why? Because action is something we can control. We get to control how consistently we show up. We get to control what kind of actions we take. We get to control, we don't get to control the outcome. That's the kind of rub of the whole life thing and business thing. But we do control the steps that we take and the actions that we take and the decisions that we make that go into the actions that we take. And foremost and first, we are always able to control our response to the outcomes and the things that happen, right? That is like the only thing we have 100% control over is ourself and our thinking and our ability to respond and react to different situations. Everything else is, there's so many factors that go into it. It's really difficult to control. Think about if you, for example, launch a new offer and it bombs. It just bombs. Do you freak out and scrap that offer, or do you do some research, look at it, and try to find out, okay, well, what did we miss? What went wrong in this? If you're focused on the solution, you're not focused on the problem that it tanked. How many people have done a launch and it absolutely tanked? How many people have done a 1-hour webinar or a 3-hour webinar or a workshop to no attendees? If you've been online for any amount of time, I contend you probably have, or you didn't get the results that you wanted. Did you just throw that whole business away, or did you say, okay, no, that didn't work. Let's try something else and see what works, and figure out what works for you? Because the truth is, everything works for somebody, but everything doesn't work for us, right? Only certain things that are in alignment with who we are and how we want to show up in the world and what we're trying to create in the world actually turn out and work in our favor. And it's getting, and this is really a huge new thing for me, getting aligned with what those things are that we put our energy and focus and effort into. So today we're going to decide what to take action on. And I say just use a super simple tool for the ideas process. The A in ideas is action. And just use a little plus and minus column and look at your top 3 options that you came up with yesterday, and just quick and dirty, pick one and take some action today on it, and then put done in the comments below. For we're going to do another action item, right? We're going to do 2 all this week, 7 days of double up. As far as controlling what we can control, we're going to do a similar exercise. We're going to get a piece of paper out. We're going to put a line down the middle. One column we're going to put can't control. The other column we're going to put I can control. And as things come up during the day, and I guarantee they will, and you find yourself trying to control them, but it's really outside of your control. I want to control the price of my raw materials that come into my business. I don't have any control over that, right? It depends on the economy. It depends on all different factors that the person that's supplying that to my business determines on their own. I get to always choose whether I'm going to do business with that particular vendor or not. So we always have some control, but we don't have all the control, right? If you're working, and this is a personal one, on another person's platform, another company's platform, for example, Facebook, where we are right now, or wherever you're watching me, whatever, I don't own any of those platforms. I have to conform to the rules and the way they do things. And I have zero ability to change any of that. I can give them some feedback when they change something and it makes me crazy, which is about every 2 weeks, but I don't control it. So as long as I'm choosing to use their platform, I need to go within the confines of how they've set it up and how they do it and their algorithms and everything else. It doesn't do me any good to complain about that at all, right? I just say this is the constraints, which is actually really powerful because then we don't have to consider everything. And I just like to be grateful for all the things that it does for me versus focusing on the little things that it doesn't. And when it changes, I used to get super frustrated about every change, especially with my vision challenges. And instead now, when something changes, I'm just like, okay, because usually in a day or two, it reverts back to what I was doing and I can do it my same way, if that makes sense. So today, 2 columns. I challenge you today to focus on your I can control column as much as possible. And when you catch yourself, I would say every time you catch yourself in the I can't control column, put a little hatch mark on your piece of paper. And at the end of the day, count those up and share in the comments below how many things you tried to control that you actually don't have the ability to control. I'd be curious to see that. All right. If I can help you with this, if I can help you with anything in any way, please hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have fun with this today, because the more fun we're having as we're building and growing and supersizing our business, the more fun other people are having. And if we're having fun and enjoying the process, that means it's for us and for them, and everybody wins. All right. See you tomorrow.